Hi fam. I'm back with another video with my Yeehaw cup. I gotta get me one of these. I wonder where it's from. I'm house sitting right now, so. I love a hot cup in the morning. So funny. I never used to like hot. No, that's a. For the last like 10 plus years, I have done nothing but drink iced black coffee. If you should know anything about me, and it's funny because shout out Cheyenne. Her and I were talking about this yesterday because it's actually was one of our first messages to each other. We were like reminiscing on when we started talking to each other and when we connected. And it was over black. I was saying how like I think she was adding honey to her coffee or something, and I was like, black coffee or bust, man. It would be like -10 outside, and I'd be like, such a New Englander, right? Like classic New Englander. I like a nice black coffee. It's like a -10 outside. I got like multiple layers on. I can't feel my fingers, but I want a nice coffee, please. Same thing when I moved to Colorado. It was like iced black coffee, no matter what. And it's so funny to like think back, right? Now I'm here sitting drinking hot coffee. It's so funny because like I love black coffee, and I love hot black coffee now. Although I have been in my latte girl era for like the last, since end of 2024. I started dabbling with lattes, hot lattes. It's funny, I'll drink a hot latte, but I won't drink an iced latte unless it's a matcha latte. So interesting. We all have our preferences. I think that's what makes us unique, you know? Hey, did you just eat that? Oh man, in my last video I was talking about how a feather just like flew from I don't know where, and the dog just ate it. It's convenient. Anyways, the whole purpose of this video was not about black coffee, but it's about, number one, like reminiscing on what I used to desire when I was younger, and really to talk about how the last 2 days, today's I think my second day, I have these little holistic prescriptions that I give my clients, right? Like here's this meditation, here's this frequency music, here's XYZ journal prompts, whatever. And it's so important as practitioners to take and use our own medicine. Like a lot of us have practiced with it for a long time, but then we forget about it. And it's so important to come back to those practices because they are the foundation with which things are built and have been built. And also, like, how do you give things to other people if you've never experienced them, right? And I have this heart chakra frequency meditation that I have used personally. I love it. It's one of the main things that I give any person, any client, anything related to the heart chakra. I'm just like, here's this hour-long track. Go put your headphones in, set the intention for whatever you want, and just drop in. Man, it always provides. Always provides. So the other day I was sitting down having dinner, and I was like, it was after I had a conversation with a friend about, you know, especially being a Leo, like our heart chakra that's Leo, right? Like we love with a full heart, we're courageous and all the things. And we were talking about that and the sacral chakra and how the sacral chakra wants to be expressed upwards and, you know, through the heart and whatnot. But our heart connects everything. And we just got in an interesting conversation about the heart and the sacral and expression and intuition and so many different things. Shout out Wind if you ever see this video. I love giving my friends shout outs. I think it's so cool. But I had this download of sit with that meditation for at least 10 minutes a day. Just put your headphones on, ask what your heart wants to show you, and just drop in. And so over the last couple mornings, I started doing more energy work on myself, which is wild because I've done energy work on myself before, but it feels different this time. But it feels so good. And then I drop into meditation. And what's wild is this morning I dropped in, and you know, it's like I journey on myself, right? Like, I don't think I've talked about this a whole lot on here, but as a shamanic practitioner, one of the main things I do is journey. And basically what that means is being able to go to a different, being in a trance-like state to get to, you know, journey through the energy centers or different worlds or whatever the case is. There's bluebirds flying around. And that feels significant. There's 3 of them. I love that. Anywho, that's a huge part of the work that I do, is being able to journey through energy centers, being able to journey in between worlds. And so I journeyed on myself this morning, which is something that I was taught you can't do. And I was like, bet, tell me I can't do something, and I'm gonna do it. It's just who I am. And so I journeyed on myself, and I dropped into my heart space. And it's so funny because anytime I drop into my heart space, it's usually like almost like I'm standing behind a curtain at first. And then once I open the curtain, it's like this extravagant, elaborate, non-ordinary, but also ordinary vision, right? And I know this, today looked very familiar because shout out Jessie. Lots of shout outs in this video. Shout out Jessie Bax for guiding me through a meditation several years ago in which I dropped into Candyland, which was inside my heart space. And so I've gone back to Candyland several times. And I've sat with pieces of myself in Candyland, and I've put pieces of myself to rest in Candyland. And a couple of weeks ago, I dropped in, and there was this elaborate temple filled with bejewels and gems and just gold and so many different things. And I was like, holy shit, I've like up-leveled, you know? But today I dropped in, and I dropped right into Candyland, and I was like, this feels familiar. And then all of a sudden I was standing at the beach in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, which is where I used to vacation as a child, all the way up through my teen years, actually, with my family. And I was standing at the edge of the water, and it was like I saw all versions of myself. And then it was my now self standing there. And I haven't been back to this beach since 2023, mind you. But I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I look down, and my inner child is standing next to me, and she's got a camera in her hand. And I felt like I was back there in that moment, right? Like, time is not linear, so like, very much, yes. That's a thing of me being back there, right? But she looked so happy and so at peace, and she was like, do you want to take a picture? And it's so funny because I have pictures, albeit at my parents' house, but I have pictures of me from such a young age. I mean, I had a camera in my hand since I was 4. Pretty much since I could press a button, I've had a camera in my hand. I was obsessed with taking pictures when I was younger. And I have leaned away from it. I even sold my camera last year that I had had for like 10 years. And I told myself when I got settled, I would get a new camera. I mean, I take amazing pictures with my iPhone, but you know, something different about having a camera and pouring into that hobby. I miss using film and doing all these things, but my point is, I dropped in, and little me had a camera in her hand, and I was like, wow. All she wanted to do was take pictures. All she wanted to do was be creative. And then the picture morphed, and I was sitting on the ground, again with my inner child, and she was painting. And I dropped in, and I was like, holy shit. I felt so at peace, and I just started sobbing, which, I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you drop into your heart space sometimes, you know? You have emotions. I started sobbing because my little was so at peace, and she was just free flowing and creating. And I was like, holy shit. I used to be so creative as a kid. I sewed, I colored, I painted, I did lots of bejeweled things. I took pictures. I was just a very abstract, creative kid. I was making quilts, like queen and king size quilts at the age of 10. Come on. How many kids you know do that nowadays, eh? Irregardless, I used to be really fucking creative, and I've lost that along the way, going into my adult years and all the things. Like I was, I drew and I took pictures a lot in high school and did things I told myself I never would be able to do. And I've been trying to get back to that so hard, making jewelry and doing all these things that do bring me joy, right? It's been so hard being on the move and carrying supplies and all the things and just really craving a space where I can just do that without thinking twice about it. And then I was like, oh my God, my inner child feels safe to create again. Like she's just so at peace. And guys, when you haven't known peace, could be at any time in your life, if you've never found peace any time, right? If you grew up in chaos or whatever the case is, like finding that level of peace will bring you to tears. Good tears, but tears. Because number one, tears are magic. We don't hate on tears around here. But two, it's that deep sense of safety, the sense of like, wow, I can literally do anything. Whatever wants to can flow through me. There's nothing stopping it. There's not me scanning and being hyper vigilant and waiting for the next shoe to drop. And when you hit that level of peace, I've had so many glimmers over the last few years, but I've worked really hard to cultivate this sense of peace and safety within my body. And it's mirroring out into my external reality finally, and it's so beautiful. Our inner child has so much that they want to share with us. Like, who were we before the world got to us? Before the world told us we couldn't be who we wanted to be? Before all the chaos and the clutter got a hold of us, right? It's like, who did you want to be? What did you want to do? No bounds. No, I have to work this job to make a paycheck. Like, what did you want to do? I had so many different jobs I wanted to do. I wanted to be a hairdresser. I wanted to be a photographer. Then I wanted to be a nurse. Became a nurse. I loved music. I loved dancing. Like I, at one point, thought I wanted to be a carpenter, like my dad. And it's wild to see all those versions of me and to still be here in this now vessel and getting to decide what I want and what I truly want to do, and just being really raw and honest with myself, which is really hard to do sometimes, especially if you've never been bluntly honest with yourself. I've had to have a lot of hard conversations with myself recently, and they don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you how to have hard conversations with yourself, how to be honest with yourself, how to have an honest conversation with yourself and be like, yeah. Didn't want to hear that, but had to hear that. Needed to hear that, right? Doing mirror work has been so powerful, but really, truly, Insight Timer, Gaia Meditation, Heart Chakra Frequency, has a green label with a woman sitting in crisscross applesauce. Highly recommend. Because that meditation drops me in every time. There's no words. It's just music. But it drops me in every time, and it gives me the answers that I need to hear, that I desire to hear, that answer my intention that I set. And so much opened up this morning where I was just like, holy shit. Be so delusional that reality has no choice but to bend in your favor. And remembering all these things that I desired when I was younger and I've pushed away because I'm like, I I need newer, bigger, better. It's like, I want a fucking like 94 Jeep. I want to be able to take the top off when it's sunny. Parks if it's a stick shift. If it's teal, that'd be super fucking cool. But like, so random. But I was like, man, forgot about my Jeep desires. Like, it's always been laying under the surface. But I'm like, no, I need that Range Rover. I need that 4Runner. I need that new vehicle with all the tech gadgets and heated seats and all the things. Like, don't get me wrong. I love those things. But it's like, go back to the simplicity. I want to create, not only for myself, but I want to bring others joy through my creations. I just think of it as like my personality in a creation. Like, people get to carry that with them, and that's fucking cool. So I hope this inspires you to sit with your inner child, to sit with your desires, to sit with the things that you've longed for, maybe forgot about. Maybe they're knocking on a door and you keep not answering the door or not wanting to answer the door. With that energy, that version of you, they're the secret sauce to your life. And a lot of us forget about those pieces, but they really truly are the secret sauce to everything that we desire in this life. We just have to get quiet enough to listen. And be open to listening and be honest with ourselves, and what beauty comes from that, you know? If you end up doing the meditation, come back and tell me how it went. Send me a message. I love getting messages from you guys about how these hit, or if something inspired you, whether it's here or on social media, somewhere else. But I hope this inspires you to spend time with yourself, to get to know yourself, to drop into your heart space, and to find that secret sauce to life that we all long for. And maybe have a cup of black coffee along the way. I love when we come full circle, you know? Anyways, I love y'all so much. And I hope you have a magical day whenever this finds you. I'll see you on the next one.